We're going to read what Srila Prabhupada said about reading his books and reading transcendental literature. This is a verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is Madhya Lila, chapter 25, text 278. Translation: Men become strong and stout by eating sufficient grains. But the devotee who simply eats ordinary grains but does not taste the transcendental pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and Krishna gradually becomes weak and falls down from the transcendental position. However, if one drinks but a drop of nectar of Krishna's pastimes, his body and mind begin to bloom, and he begins to laugh, sing, and dance. Now let's read the purport. It elaborates on this. All the devotees connected with the Krishna consciousness movement must read all the books that have been translated, and Prabhupada lists Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and others, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Krishna book. Those are the main books. Otherwise, after some time, they will simply eat, sleep, and fall down from their position. Thus, they will miss the opportunity to attain an eternal, blissful life of transcendental pleasure. So what's going on here in this verse and purport? Prabhupada is comparing the hearing of transcendental literature to, we can say, food for the soul. So you all know if you eat healthy food, you get energized. If you don't eat healthy food, you get weak. So imagine you take two people. One, you feed very nutritious food, flaxseed, hemp seed, chia seeds, spinach, green drinks, protein shakes, organic this, organic that, these vitamins, these minerals, these supplements. The person is going to be strong, right? And the other person, you feed white bread and water. You're going to gradually become unhealthy and weak. Or, not that we would feed them McDonald's, but if anyone has a diet of McDonald's, in about a month they'll be in the hospital, right? So the same analogy is there. The more we're hearing transcendental literature, the more it is rejuvenating our Krishna consciousness, the more it is food for our soul. What does Prabhupada say? Devotees will bloom, sing, dance. So see hearing as a primary element or primary practice in your spiritual life because it's nourishing your Krishna consciousness. And if you fast from hearing, you're going to become weak spiritually. Now, Prabhupada said something very, you could say, astonishing, powerful, scary, revealing, truthful. He said, if we don't hear, what's going to happen? The hearing is elevating us. It's inspiring us. It's helping us to become more transcendently situated. If we don't hear, what's going to happen? Gradually, we're going to become attached to bodily consciousness, material activities. Prabhupada says here, we'll just be interested in eating and sleeping and sex, which is what most people are interested in. In other words, he's saying, if we don't hear the transcendental literature, we're just going to become like ordinary people. So, flip it around. These books, these transcendental literatures, are making us extraordinary. They're helping us become transcendentally situated. They're helping us become spiritually purified, stable, strong, and different than everyone else. And if we don't have these books, if we're not reading regularly, then we're probably going to become like everyone else. At least that's what Prabhupada is telling us. So I want to tell you a story that I heard from one of my godbrothers. He was a book distributor. And during the 1974 Rath Yatra, Prabhupada asked to meet all the book distributors. Gathered them in a room and he told them, or he asked them, are you reading my books? That was his first question. He said, the books are not just for distribution. They're for reading. I've written them primarily for you. So Prabhupada was very concerned that all his disciples were reading his books because Prabhupada said, everything I wanted to say, everything I want to say, everything I want you to know, it's in my books. So whatever question you have, Prabhupada has answered in his books. And one devotee said, well, what does it mean to inquire from the spiritual master? Because you have so many disciples and we can't inquire from you. All of us can't inquire from you. He said, it means to read my books. That's the inquiry. You go to the spiritual master, Bhagavad Gita 434, and inquire from him. What's the inquiry? Open up the book. That is your inquiry. Read the books. And how do you read them? With attention, with faith, and regularity. And we're going to talk about that a little later. But you read them with an open mind. You read them to absorb. Some people say, you don't read books, but you let the books read you. You don't get into the book, but you let the book get into you. So you want to open yourself up to that transcendental message and just let it work on you. And if you do this every day, you're going to notice a big difference in your consciousness. You're going to notice a difference in how you look at the world, how you deal with people, how you see yourself, how you feel. Your level of enthusiasm, your level of spiritual strength is definitely going to improve if you have a regular diet of reading Srila Prabhupada's books.